Everybody, and welcome to Slowpoke Racing and to the Ultimate Racing League, sponsored by Eldridge Air Conditioning. Now, just before we get into this, I've got a couple of apologies to make. I've had a touch of the flu over the weekend, and I've been left with quite a nasty cough, irritating cough. So I may have to keep taking bits of breaks away from the mic while I have a good old coughing session. If I can't mute it quick enough, I do apologise. I don't want you going through that, but I'll do my best. We'll try and keep it down to a minimum. So that's the first thing. So again, apologies for any coughing fits I might have during the race. The second thing I want to say is a massive thank you to Dyson. I didn't do it last week and I meant to. I want to say a massive thank you to J46 Dyson. He has been saving and sharing the replays for me. And if he didn't do that, obviously I couldn't bring them to you. So again, a massive thank you to him. So onwards and upwards into this week's round. Then we're at round 3, and we are at Deep Forest. We'll have a look at the track in a minute. Oh, here we go. Excuse me. We'll have a look at the track in a minute. First of all, though, we can have a look down the grid and see where everybody is. Now, I'm not going to do the table just yet. I thought we'd get into at least 3 weeks. Before we start doing that, let things settle down, let some sort of order get into. So if you're wondering about the league tables, if you have a look at the URL Facebook page, you might be able to find them on there, but I will bring them probably next week. Excuse me. So I'm not going to do the tables yet. I just want to let them calm down a little bit. So like I say, let's get into this one, shall we? So as you can see, we've got bits of paper. We've got Brisbane on pole position. Now, he's actually started on pole position in every first race. I know we're only on to the third one, so this is his third pole out of 3 for race 1. So Brisbane really setting his stall out very early. Motorstorm just behind him in second, really pushing Brisbane all the way this season, putting up a good challenge. Not really letting Brisbane get too far away, is he? I mean, a couple of races Brisbane shot off, but Motorstorm's always been there and thereabouts. Then we've got Smith just behind him in third. What a cracking season he's having so far. Loving what he's been doing. He's always up there fighting for a podium. Excuse me. But that's Smith in third. Stormfly is in fourth. Then we've got Panic at the Tesco in fifth. Enzo Jack sixth. Dyson is in 7, as I've said. Big thanks to him for saving the replays. Fitzy in 8th, Scott in 9th, Victor 10th. Then we've got Matty Older in 11th. This is Matty's first race, actually. He's missed the first 2 for reasons only known to himself. And we don't want to go there, do we? Excuse me. Yeah, that's Matty Older in 11th. Then we've got Osman in 12th. So a couple of notable names missing. We've got Bailey that's... he's not here. He raced last week, but really struggled with back pain and has been fighting it all week, but couldn't make it this week. And also, Harry Poppins is not racing. Apparently, it's engine trouble that's kept him in the pits. So Harry Poppins couldn't get out and start this race either. Hopefully, both of those guys will be back as soon as possible. So on to the track then this week. Sorry, honestly, this cough is more annoying for me than it is you guys, and I know you're all already fed up with it. Over to Switzerland we go then. It's a fictional track, Deep Forest Raceway, 2.6 miles, 18 turns ahead of us. No corner names, unfortunately. It is just numbers. But hey ho, you can't have it always, can you? It is a great track, actually. It's a pity it's not a real track. Really look forward to the day they actually build it, if they want to. We've got about 4 tunnels on this track. I can't remember now. I think it's about 4. Some very technical sections as well, as we will see as the guys get around the track. So enough from me. I'm just going to get this race started. Sprint race, it's about 25 minutes, this 17 lapper. Just over, I can't remember now, but it's 17 laps, sprint race on the soft tyres. As Brisbane brings us down towards the start-finish line, and we are racing, and down the hill, it is only a slight hill, but down the hill we go into turn 1. Excuse me. a pretty tight turn, but I tell you what, there is plenty of grip on the outside at turn 1, so anybody wants to make a decent overtake, it's a good old long straight, 765 metres the straight down into turn 1, so it's a good overtaking position as we follow everybody through the sort of S-bend section. They come around turn 5 into turn, through the tunnel, and then into turn 6. A lot of elbows will be out in this one. It is a very technical track. We're back up to Brisbane, who takes us around turn 10. Now this is one big penalty zone, turn 10. You really want to push this corner, but you push it too far and the penalties will be dished out. But we can see everybody, I was going to say everybody gets through there, but no, Matty has caught out, and half a second for him. That'll give Osman the opportunity to get by and move up into P11, and he can get on after Victor just up ahead of him. Matty's going to have to carry that penalty around for another lap. He wasn't quite close enough to the penalty zone to pay that one off yet. Now then, it looks like somebody else went a bit wide there. Might have been Scott, as he got away with it as he came out of turn 14. Another quite nasty corner. Up at the top then, and he's still Briz out in front with Motorstorm Hero chasing him down. As I say, into turn 1, very quick, very sweepy left-hander this one, getting on the power very, very early. Plenty of grip on the outside, as I've said, but these two having a good old battle already. And already starting to pull a gap actually, back to Smith. Smith is just leading ahead of Stormfly as they come into this section at turns 2, 3 and 4 into the first of the tunnels. It's all a section of right-handers here. Stormfly, let's jump on board with Stormfly, shall we? As we try and chase Smith through turns 7, 8 and 9. Quick look behind us. Panic at the Tesco in 5th with Enzo Jack just behind him in 6th. This is turn 10, where if you drift too far out onto the right, you can get a penalty. Now Smith, I think, did that all right. Although he crossed the white line, he kept some tyres on the curb, which I think you're allowed to do. But it's just if you go over the curb, you will pick up a penalty. Into the slipstream then. Stormfly is a bit too far back to make a move there as we go into turn 14. Hard onto the brakes there to get this car slowed right down to about 50 miles an hour. And into that very tight hairpin turn, left-hand turn. Owen Smith picked up 1 second. What was that for? Did I take my eyes off the screen for a minute? What happened there? We're going to stay in this little battle as Stormfly chases Smith down towards turn 1. Smith not really defending it, is he? He's staying over on the right there. He knows there's plenty of grip there. Now he comes across onto the left hand side and then back on the power again. Stormfly just sitting behind him, not much he can do about that. Let's get out of there and see what's happening elsewhere. Oh no, we've had a change of lead. Now then, what's happened? Whoops, wrong button, sorry. Oh, it was turn 1. Now then, we mentioned it, didn't we? As Motorstorm Hero comes down the hill, does he have a look at the inside of Briz at turn 1, or does he go all the way around the outside? Well, he leaves it. He doesn't do it at turn 1. Oh, as Brisbane goes a little bit too deep on the exit of turn 1, and Motorstorm, well, he didn't need asking twice, did he? He let through there like a cat after a mouse. Straight through, says Motorstorm Hero. Thank you very much. I'll have a piece of that. And moves through into take the lead of this race. Briz just caught napping a little bit there as he exited turn 1, and it cost him dearly, and Motorstorm trying to get away as well. Smith's still in 3rd, although he's got a 1 second penalty as well. Wow, I knew the penalties were going to be dished out, but these 1 seconds are pretty harsh, to be fair. You can see the bar starting to fill up above Smith's car. We'll stay with him because Stormfly is in 4th and chasing him. Now Stormfly will definitely move up onto that podium step as Smith serves his penalty. The big question is, well, there we go, it's just been answered. Panic at the Tesco got by as well, so Smith, unfortunately, with that 1 second penalty, has lost 2 places and now drops to 5th, so he's got a lot of work ahead of him if he wants to get back up there into 3rd. You can see just behind Enzo Jack with a half a second penalty as well, as he goes door to door with Dyson. Excuse me. Down the hill we go towards turn 1. Like I say, 765 metre dash. We've got a battle going ahead just ahead of these guys, as well as Smith and Panic. Panic going all the way around the outside. As I said, there was plenty of grip there. A little touch there from Smith, but nothing intentional. As Panic goes a little bit deep and ends up in 5th. Dyson managed to get the job done with Enzo Jack and keeps his nose into 6th, with Enzo in 7th, carrying a half a second. We've got Scott down in 8th. He's having a bit of a battle with Fitzy. Fitzy sniffing all around the rear end of Scott's Lamborghini. It is all very tight at the minute. Victor in 10th, with Osman in 11th, and Matty Older probably not used to the car yet, to be honest. It's only his first outing with these guys, so these Lamborghinis, in my opinion, are probably one of the worst in the game. One of the worst Group 3 cars to drive in the game, but that's only my opinion. They're very twitchy, they don't like turning, they're bloody awful at braking. But, like I said, that's my opinion. I hope the real one's not like it. Imagine spending all that money and piece of junk like that. Anyway, up to the top then, Motorstorm Hero out in front and really looking at making a gap between himself and Brisbane. I think he may have just about broke the slipstream. Bit hard to tell from this angle as we come down the hill and across the line to start lap 5. These laps are really rattling past quickly, aren't they? Brisbane in 2nd, Stormfly in 3rd. Little gap starting to appear now. Smith got himself back up to 4th as he gets by Panic at the Tesco. Panic at the Tesco sitting there in 5th, but he's got a rear view mirror full of Jay Dyson. Dyson really putting the pressure on now as we go through this technical section of turns 3, 4 and 5 into the tunnel after turn 5 into turn 6. Then we're into another tunnel. Let's have a look from Dyson's point of view as we have a good old look at the back end of Panic's car. And if we look in the mirror, we've got Scott sniffing around the rear end as well. So Scott really putting the pressure on Dyson. Dyson really doesn't know where to look at the minute. He's going to concentrate fully on Panic, I'm sure, but definitely aware of Scott coming up quickly behind him. And then just behind Scott, we've got Enzo Jack. So these 3 or 4 really having a fantastic battle into the long back straight, then through the tunnel, and as we emerge, you're going to get into the braking zone before hitting turn 14. This very, very tight hairpin left-hander. Back on the power again. You don't want to go too much too early, otherwise the back end will come round and say hello. But all these guys make it look very, very easy. Down a slight hill before going up. It's not much hilly, it's just a dip every now and then, but enough to slow the car or accelerate it, depending on which you're doing, uphill or down. Again, a quick look behind. Scott too far back to make a move on Panic, but on Dyson, sorry, but I thought Dyson would have a good old slip up the inside of Panic there, but Panic just regained his composure and got the car facing the right way. We're on lap 6 of 17, so plenty of racing ahead. Let's just have a look and see what's happening. These 4 really are battling away, aren't they? We've got Fitzy in 9th with Victor in 10th. And then Osman in 11th. Not really seen a lot of Osman over the last couple of races. I really expected to see a lot more. Our very own wizard with a wheel. And yeah, whether it's the car, I'm not, I think I said it last week. He just seems a little bit out of sorts at the minute, does Osman, but I'm sure there is plenty more to come from him. And Matty Older, first race out, still getting used to the car. Struggling down there in 12th. So let's have a look and see what's happening up at the top now. Then Motorstorm Hero still out in front. Brisbane not letting him get away though. In fact, I think that gap has closed very, very slightly. But Motorstorm doing an absolutely fantastic job. Fastest man on track at the minute is just behind him in the shape of Brisbane. He's got a 1:26.7 at the minute. Let's have a look. Motorstorm, he's in the 27s. His fastest lap was a 1:26.8, so only a tenth away. Almost nearly exactly a tenth. There was only a tenth between their fastest, but Brisbane picked up his fastest on the last lap. Maybe a little bit of help from the slipstream of the car in front, but it is the fastest lap nevertheless. Stormfly just behind. He's in the 26s as well. The last 2 laps have both been 26.9s. So starting to get a bit of consistency is Stormfly as he tries to hang on to the back of Brisbane and Motorstorm. Smith sitting there in 4th. He's very consistent in the 27s, very low, in the low 27s as well. Just tried to maintain the gap back to Panic at the Tesco. Panic at the Tesco really has got other things on his mind though as they come towards turn 14 and Scott gets it. I thought Scott had managed to get himself side by side there with Panic, or at least get his nose in the gap, but no, Panic said you're not having it there. And manages to hold on to if Scott is just going to keep on going, let's just follow these two as they come up through the final couple of turns at 11 and 12 through turn 13, heading down towards the line and down towards turn 1, about 13, 14, all that final turns, aren't they, 17 and 18, looking at my map the wrong way around. It is still Scott chasing Panic at the Tesco. You have to give me that one. I've not been well, you know. So Scott and Panic, a battle that I'm sure is going to rage on for the next couple of laps. Let's have a look just behind them. Enzo Jack in 7th. He's got his own little fight going on with Dyson. Not far behind him is Fitzy. Victor sniffing all around the rear end of Fitzy as well. A gap starting to appear between Victor and Osman. Osman in 11th. With Matty down in 12th. Back up to the battle in the middle of the pack then with Fitzy chasing Dyson down. He's getting a little bit closer. Did I say a penalty there? It was Enzo Jack with a penalty. So Enzo's going to serve that, is he? Yeah, no, he's going to carry it for another lap. So he must have picked it up quite late. Maybe at turn 10. This is turn 14. Oh, we've had a change of lead again. What is going on? Let's just go back and see if we can find this, where this happened. We do like to see a good overtake, and it looks like Motorstorm and Brisbane have got their own little war going on here. So as we head down towards turn 14, hairpin, and Brisbane just dives to the inside. What a fantastic move that was. Motorstorm Hero, well, he just opened the door for him, didn't he? He stayed very, very wide. Made no attempt to defend the corner at all, but has decided he's going to come back at Brisbane. Brisbane just about holding on to that P1. Motorstorm Hero all over the back of him. Brisbane letting him know very early that he wants that inside line as Motorstorm has to go around the outside, but there is plenty of grip. Oh, as Motorstorm gets it done just before they get to turn 1. Can he get the car slowed down enough? I don't think he could, and Brisbane takes full advantage, or does he? Motorstorm is still got his nose in front, side by side, as they enter this technical part of the track at turns 2, 3 and 4. It is Brisbane who comes out on top of our does he? Motorstorm is trying to go on the inside again as they come around turn 6. And it's now Brisbane on the inside. Fantastic stuff between these two. Both giving each other a plenty of room. Oh, come on, cameraman, keep up. Brisbane stays out in front as they come down towards turn 10. Don't want to push it too hard. Neither of them want to pick a penalty up. Oh, as Brisbane goes very deep into that turn now, that he'd be lucky if he gets away with that one. I really thought, yes, he did. I knew he went too deep. And Brisbane picks up half second. Motorstorm, I'm sure, will be grinning from ear to ear. Well, he is. The front of the car is anyway. Because Brisbane really needs to try and open up a gap from Motorstorm, but I think that is a big ask. In the meanwhile, Stormfly has been able to catch right up to the back of Motorstorm. These two fighting it out has just invited him to join the party, and he want to get involved as well. He's thinking about that penalty as well that Brisbane's got. If he can get close enough to the two guys in front, he could actually demote Brisbane down to 3rd. So we'll just stick with it. Let's have a look, shall we, as Motorstorm back on the harassment of Brisbane. Brisbane carrying that half a second. He'll be absolutely furious with that. And Motorstorm is just not giving him any room at all. Stormfly doing everything he can to keep up with these two. What fantastic racing. We will have a look further down the grid in a minute. I just want to see what's going to happen when Brisbane serves his penalty as he goes around 7, 8 and then through turn 9. Stormfly just getting left behind a little bit with these two. Motorstorm Hero doing the right thing, I think. He's just absolutely sticking to the back of Brisbane. He knows that Brisbane is going to serve a penalty, and he knows he's going to take over the lead of this race. any second now. He doesn't need to overtake, he just needs to keep the pressure on. And there we go, Brisbane serves his penalty. Motorstorm Hero goes through, Stormfly right onto the back of Brisbane. Let's have a look and see if they're side by side into turn 14. Oh, they're almost glued together. Brisbane, I think, has managed to get the job done, but Stormfly's still there as Brisbane and Stormfly now. This is a good opportunity for Motorstorm to try and scamper away, and it is still Stormfly and Brisbane side by side as they go down the straight across the start finish line. Absolutely neck and neck into turn 1. I mentioned it earlier, plenty of grip on the outside, but Briz trying the cutback. Oh, what a beautiful move. That was I'm going to have a look at that again. That was the perfect example of how to do the cutback. If I can get the right camera, I'm going to go back and do that again, and I'm going to get the right camera angle this time. Sorry, I've gone back too far, but I think this was definitely, if anybody watching this wants to know how to do the old switcheroo, then Brisbane is just going to teach you a little lesson here. Now then, there was a little bit of contact there, a bit of door bashing, trying, passing things through each other's windows there, but nothing too nasty. Now then, into the turn, you can see Brisbane very early onto the brakes. He knew that Stormfly was going to go a little bit deeper into the turn, and there we go. What a fantastic move that was from Brisbane to get him alongside Stormfly, but they are still side by side. There is nothing really separating. Oh, as Brisbane gets on the grass and gets himself all out of shape. As we go into turns 2, 3 and 4, you get on the grass there, and the back end just wants to come round and say hello, and that's exactly what's happened. Brisbane did a fantastic job of keeping the car facing the right way. What a brilliant battle these two have been having. In the meanwhile, Motorstorm Hero is saying, come on guys, you carry on, I'm just going to disappear off up the road. So Stormfly now up into second, Brisbane in third. Then we've got Panic at the Tesco, he's in fourth now. Scott in fifth, Dyson in fifth. What has happened to Smith in all this chaos? What happened to Smith? We're just going to go back and wow, that's too far. Sorry, I missed that. I'm sorry I missed that one. So something's obviously happened to Mr. Smith to end up right down there in 12th, and it's a long way back. So I do apologise for that while we were watching the battle with Motorstorm, Brisbane and Stormfly. We missed that, and I do apologise. But poor old Agent Smith now down in 12th, and well, with only 6 laps to go, that's about the best he's going to get, I think. Out in front though, Motorstorm looking safe for now. Briz, oh, these two are still at it, side by side. Fantastic stuff for the spectators. I'm sure it's not while you're sitting in the cab of that Lamborghini, and believe me, there is not much room in there. Briz in second, Stormfly in third, Panic at the Tesco, he's creeping up to the back then. He could be joining this party soon. Scott in fifth. He wants to get involved as well, why not? He's thinking about a podium spot. He's seen the way the guys up ahead are battling away, and he's thinking, well, if they have a bit of a coming together, then I'm here and I'm ready for it. As we see Panic at the Tesco really putting the pressure on Stormfly now. Let's come on board with Panic, shall we? As we go through the first of the long tunnels on this back straight, I really must find out how long this back straight really is, because it's just very long. Down towards turn 14, Panic at the Tesco, having a bit of a look at the inside, but no, just didn't quite fancy it, did he? All Stormfly goes very, very wide. Gets the power down though. Panic at the Tesco couldn't take advantage of that. Didn't want to compromise his own position, but Stormfly a bit lucky to get away with that one, I think, and he'll be annoyed with himself going so deep. That's allowed Panic at the Tesco to get a little bit closer to him. As Panic goes to the inside, Stormfly trying to squeeze him out a little bit, but Panic not having it. And there we go, it's the old switcheroo again, which Briz did earlier on. Panic at the Tesco, got his nose in front. Oh, in fact, he's been mugged because Scott's come through as well. Panic too deep into turn 1. and he's ended up back down in 5th with Dyson in 6th, Fitzy in 7th. We've got Victor, he's moved up to 8th with Enzo Jack in 9th, Matty Older in 10th, and Smith in 11th. Motorstorm looking very comfortable. We're on lap 13, so what we'll do is we will jump on board with Motorstorm, I think, unless there's anybody else really battling away. We've got Stormfly and we've got Scott now. Scott really pushing Stormfly along. I was going to do a lap, I was going to do a full lap with somebody. We'll see, when they cross the finish line, we'll just see how close they are. We've always got race 2. So Stormfly being harassed by Scott at the minute. Stormfly been in a fair share of battles, hasn't he, this race with Brisbane and Motorstorm. Brisbane now got himself a bit of a gap, bit of breathing space between himself and Stormfly, but in the meantime Motorstorm has just gone too far ahead, I think, even for the mighty Brisbane to catch him up. Stormfly in 3rd, Scott in 4th with Panic at the Tesco sitting there in 5th. He's not giving it up yet, is he? Scott seriously looking at a podium finish. Then we got Dyson in 6th, just ahead of Fitzy. Having a good race so far is Dyson. Mid-pack with Fitzy, trying to stay out of trouble. We've got Victor in 8th. Not really seen much of Victor, have we? He was down at the back of the pack, but he's slowly making his way back through again. He's Victor, he's up to 8th. So I just need another quick swig of water. So that's Victor in 8th. He's still battling away with Enzo Jack just behind him. Enzo Jack definitely in the slipstream and thinking about making a move. So as they go around turn 14, I'm sure Enzo Jack, is he going to get close enough? I don't think he's going to get close enough to make a move this time around, but if he can stay with Victor, get a decent exit out of this turn, he can start thinking about making a move before they get to turn 1, even if he gets alongside, as we've seen with Brisbane and Stormfly and Smith and that earlier on. If you can get close enough, you can actually make the move around the outside of turn 1. So into the slipstream is Enzo Jack. Is he going to get close enough? You know what, I don't think he is. Yeah, Victor just really closed the door on him there, didn't he? Got into the braking zone, put his car in the right position very early on. Matty Older down in 10th with Smith in 11th, and we've lost Oz. So Oz, where's Osman gone? He's retired. So Osman has retired from the race. What a shame. So we're down to 11, and unfortunately holding on to 11th is Smith, and not that far behind Matty, so maybe thinking about one more space, but race ruined really for Smith. I'm not quite sure what happened. Excuse me. Let's have a quick look at the top then. Motorstorm Hero around turn 14, out in front, looking very comfortable. Brisbane behind him in 2nd. They've all calmed down a little bit now. Ooh, bit of lag kicking in there, I think, for Brisbane. So now we've all settled down just a little bit. Stormfly in 3rd. In fact, we'll do our lap with Stormfly, shall we? And then we can keep an eye on this little battle. So yeah, let's go on board with Stormfly. As we go down the hill then, Stormfly drifts to the left. He's letting Scott know exactly where he wants to be. Scott's going to have a look on the outside. Stormfly back out towards the racing line. And turn 1 complete. Scott still behind us. Then we come up through turns 2, 3 and then 4. This is a bit of a tricky turn, this one. It throws you into turn 5, but it's very easy to get slung out there and hit the barrier. But through the tunnel then into turn 6. Turn 7 is actually in this tunnel, or just as you exit this tunnel, should I say. Then we've got turn 8, more of a kink in the road, but you've got to be careful again. Get too much grass and it will upset the car. Through turn 9 and then down towards turn 10, and that's where you're going to pick up your penalty, but Stormfly did an excellent job of it there. Then we're on to this extremely long back straight through the second tunnels, through turns 11 and 12. through turns 13 as we head down towards turn 14 into the braking zone, hard on those brakes. Oh, and who's that? Scott's on the inside. Scott has decided to make the move. What a great move that was from Scott. And then it is down the hill then through turns 15, 16, 17, and then the final turn is 18 as Stormfly comes back at Scott. It is Scott's turn now to hug that inside line. Stormfly, well, he's been here before, hasn't he? He knows all about overtaking in at turn 1. Well, let's have a look. Has he managed to get himself in front of Scott? Yes, he did. He got the job done actually before we got to turn 1. So great racing from Stormfly with a lot of help from the slipstream. We are on the final lap at the minute. It is Motorstorm out in front, Brisbane just behind him with Stormfly in third, but he is being pushed all the way by Scott. Scott really senses a podium finish. I think we even tipped him for a podium, didn't we, when he was in about 5th or something? So good racing from Scott. Panic at the Tesco sitting there in 5th at the minute. Dyson is 6th, a little way back. He's got fit for company, but he's got a penalty that he's going to be serving very, very soon. Victor in 8th. Then we've got Smith. He's made his way up into 9th as Matty Older drops to 10th with Enzo Jack. Excuse me, Enzo Jack down in 11th. And being a bit careful of the old fuel, I think. As we go back up to our race leader and soon to be race winner as he comes around the final turn at 18. He'll see that checkered flag just as he goes over the crest that little hill. A great race from Motorstorm Aero, thoroughly deserved win. Well done to him. Brisbane second, what a battle he had, and he's finished in second. He'll be pleased with that. Stormfly third, Scott fourth, Panic at the Tesco fifth, with Dyson across the line in 6th, Pixie 7th, Victor 8th, Smith 9th. Then we've got Matty in 10th with Enzo Jack, who's finally going to finish in 11th. Well, what a race for race 1. These guys really do know how to put on a show, don't they? Well, that was race 1. Like I said, I'm really sorry about the coughing and spluttering as we went through. I hope it's not spoiled the enjoyment too much. And I shall catch you all again very shortly for race 2, where there will be a mandatory pit stop. So could throw up all sorts of shenanigans, that one. So yeah, catch me soon for that.